to week number 10. Can't believe I've been doing this for 10 weeks, but it could be because I've really done it for 8 weeks since I had a 2-week hiatus. Last week, well, first before she flees because she's sitting in my lap and wanting to go. Here's my little pussy cat. Anyway, last week was by far, since the new year started and since I kind of restarted the whole getting back fit and healthy, it was the hardest. As far as the new year goes, it never fails. Whenever I do a challenge or a change, it's the first week feels like it's forever, and then the second week flies by, and then the third week it's like I hit a wall. And then it took me probably till Friday to realize, yeah, I'm coming up on week 3. This feels, I can see that wall. So that kicked in. And in the earlier part of the week, I should record these things when it happens, because like 2-3 days later I'm not even thinking about it much anymore. But earlier this week I eat frozen dinners for lunch, but I don't just eat frozen dinners. Like, I put a lot of fixin' stuff with it, mostly vegetables, and I add cottage cheese in it, and I like mozzarella. I like melted cheese, because I tend to eat pasta type dinners and pizza type dinners. Mostly, every once in a while I'll sneak in a better kind, but I figure if I'm restricting calories all around, at least I want my lunch to be pretty tasty. Breakfast I can deal with, and then I'm usually not that hungry, and I eat a very light dinner. So there's this person that, there always seems to be fascinated by what I'm preparing my lunch with, but never said anything. And for some reason, last week was the week they decided to comment, and it was kind of snickering, like, like, oh, what vegetable is it now, or how long are you gonna nuke that thing? And I'm thinking, if I ever walk around with like a greasy bag of fries or inhale a large pizza for lunch, no one says anything. No one comments. If you go out and you eat a whole tray of cookies, well, not eat a whole tray, but if you go out and you stack a plate with cookies and candies, no one says anything to you. It's the people that put the vegetables on their tray that someone says something to. And I mean, it sounds innocent enough, and it is probably more good-natured teasing than anything else. But when you couple the fact that I was already kind of hitting the wall, it just really irked me. I can't remember exactly now why it irked me so much, but I know it bothered me. And, then it made me like a little bit more self-conscious, like the next day that I went to eat. But that day, it just kept going back and forth in my head about the whole thing. And usually after I eat my lunch, like I'll have a cup or like a half a bowl of cut up vegetables, broccoli, carrots, cauliflower. I know I'm a nerd. And with ranch dressing, and like if I eat that right after, like it kind of cuts. Like I usually want something sweet after I have lunch, and since I've been doing that now, like I don't want that sweet thing anymore. It could be the dressing. And that day I wanted a Snickers bar really, really bad, and I don't even remember if I ate the vegetables, but I went and got one and I ate it. And that too contributed to me feeling badly. So it's like, I had this not too pleasant encounter with someone. I had an emotional reaction to it, and then I solved the emotional reaction by doing emotional eating. So, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier in the year, and we were saying, we'd like to improve ourselves and better ourselves, but you usually feel better and improved until you encounter a challenge, and it's when you encounter the challenge and how you deal with it depends on whether or not you really moved on. And I felt like that was just a bad day. Now I'm remembering it. Like that day I remember thinking, wow, I haven't moved on at all. So I think that night I had like my regular dinner, and then the next day I woke up and I weighed in, and all last week my weight kept going up, and that too was like kind of messing with my head. Now, before you question me about it too much, I do daily weigh-ins for a reason. I don't I pay attention because you can't not pay attention, but Sundays are my official weigh-ins. That's my week to week, and then every 30 days on my side I do that too. That, like, I won't say, I think day 90 is not this Friday but next Friday. Like, I won't compare that weigh-in to this week because they're not the same time frame, if that makes any sense. So, because that's my monthly weigh-in, I guess I should say. So anyways, all this week they're going up, like it's a 4.4 pounds here, 0.8 pounds there. I mean, every morning I'm getting up and I'm shaking the scale, I'm putting it down, I'm looking at the cat saying, you got on the scale, didn't you? It's, and then it kept going up. And then my Friday, and I tend not to look at day to day, like I'll go back to last week, and even from last week it was going up, and I'm like, great, I'm busted my butt. Last week I had done on Monday, I think, an hour at the gym. I started doing weights, and with 30 minutes weights, I do 30 minutes of cardio either before or after. I'm still parking far away. No way that I eat 10,500 more calories. No, that's impossible. And I'm drinking water. I'm at least drinking 2 bottles, like 60 ounces of water. So anyway, that didn't make me feel better either. But an interesting thing happened. Even though, with the emotional, reaction to somebody commenting about how I ate, and even seeing the scale like that, like, there was probably 2 mornings I woke up and I just kind of crawled back in bed and wanted to say, to hell with this. If I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to, make it worth it. But, I just ate my Fiber One, and for lunch I had my frozen dinner with my vegetables, and I didn't have any, I don't like keep candy in the house, but I have frozen fudge stickles. So I made, like, I didn't say because I did Snickers I'm not going to have it, because if I do that, then it kind of sets this whole deprivation. Like, I try to keep everything the same, and I have like a kind of a pattern of how I eat. So that blip that was Snickers I didn't let that spiral out of control, and I didn't let that say, because what happened last year and what happens the times when I get fixated on weight, then I start to feel resentful. Like, I'm working out how long, I'm not losing weight. I'm, going out of my way how much walking, and so then it makes, well, to hell with it. I'm just going to park close, or I'm not going to take the stairs. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. So that didn't get thrown to the wayside, which is a really good thing. So that was the one emotional thing. And then my mom came to town over the weekend, and it was, just standing around, and she looked at me, she's like, have you lost weight? Which is usually a question that makes me sputter like a incoherent dummy. I just kind of said, I don't know. And, I just kind of brushed it off. And a couple of times I caught her staring at my my thigh region in particular. And I was wearing the jeans that I usually take my monthly update picture in, and they're a little looser. So, I was thinking to myself, like, that too is another thing that tends to make me stop doing anything. When external people start commenting. It's one thing for people that either read my site or watch this or listen to the podcast or read the training journal or whatever to kind of comment in general, because I think to a bigger degree they kind of know, like, they know the nuts and bolts of what I'm doing. But like when a random person comments, then I feel kind of objectified. Like, I kind of feel like I feel more judged, and I feel more like they're observing my body than appreciating the hard work that goes behind it. Like, my mom, and that what she said wasn't particularly bad. It wasn't bad at all, but it just made me think, like, no one ever says to you, wow, your lungs must be really improving from all that cardio you've been doing, or I'm sure that that running is really firming up, your muscles, and you're developing great lean mass. It's either have you lost weight or have you gained weight, and that's it. And when you add to the fact that, Friday I weighed 3 pounds more than the previous Friday. And she asked if it's such to say, have you lost weight? When technically I gained if I was to make Friday the official weigh-in day. And then no questions about, have you worked out this week? Like, I've worked out every day, not hard, like from, Monday through Fridays is really my workout days. It Those weight questions really take away from the other stuff, and I think that made me a little bit angry too. And usually when she comes, I use that as an excuse to say, I don't feel like eating my pattern. She's here just this one week, I'm going to eat whatever. But I ate my pattern. Like, I took my dinner where she was staying, and which is really vegetables, and had that for dinner. And I had yogurt and stuff for breakfast, and fruits and stuff to snack on. So, and then we ate out, but I had like a piece of chicken, and I drank like lots of water. So all that to say, what does it mean? When you go through it, you kind of feel like, this is where the spiraling out of control starts, and this is where this is where everything positive is being erased. And I guess more than anything I learned this week is just to just let the situation pass. Don't try to over control it. Don't be too angry about what's going on, and don't punish myself for what's going on. And then the next day, just, not to wake up and pretend it never happened, but the next day just to, go back to what I was doing the day before that, because even though that was one day, I had like 20, that's the Snickers I'm going back to, I had like 20 odd days of non-Snickers, and I shouldn't let the one Snicker day turn the next, rest of the year into having a Snickers after lunch. I don't even know what any of that means, but that's just my theory. So, and then today I weighed in, and the scale went back down to 190 something. I'll have it at the end of this, of course. And it ended up being up 1.2 pounds from last week. So even that, is it possible I gained a pound and, up 1.2 pounds? It's possible, because at first when I was like 10,000, that's like 1,500 extra calories a day, and I just don't eat that much. An extra 3,500 calories, which is an extra 500 a day, maybe. I don't know. I tend to eat more structured Monday through Friday, and then Monday was a holiday, so I had 3 days of kind of just not really eating like my pattern, I call it. And I nibbled on peanuts here and there, and handfuls of this here and there. So yes, it's possible. Also, I read, and I was trying to find this, I can just post it on my site. When you weight train, your muscles, the day after, you usually weigh more, because when your muscles are sore, they suck in and they hold on to more water. So that's another theory. But, whatever. So what I did Friday, because I was just feeling so all around dejected, I just went back and reread some stuff that talks about, it'll take a lot more weeks of consistent working out for me to even see the changes that are going on the inside. And I think because I've been a yo-yo exerciser as opposed to dieter, like I'll work out like a bandit for 4 weeks, and then for like 2 months they'll, to hell with this. I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to see like consistent and steady drops, and I may lose, weight much slower than most folks, which isn't unusual. And I think that I lost my train of thought. Because of that, so I had to read some stuff just to remind me, that what I'm doing, it may not be quite visible yet on the scale, and it may not be, well, it may be visible. My mom pointed it out, I don't know. But even if it's not visible to me, like with my eyes, that on the inside I'm improving. Like, I'm running more. I don't, I'm not like flailing around gasping for air. I'm on the stair climber, which I used to like conk out at 2 minutes. I can do 8 minutes on the stair climber. I would like to get that up to 30 minutes. And overall, physically, I'm much more improved than I am from day one, and even the whole lifting weights thing, like last week, which is something I should have patted myself on the back for, but I got over my fear of doing weights in the gym, and I don't have a routine. Like I'm just doing the circuit, and I'm doing you know I'm doing a small circuit, 30 minutes at the most. So those things, the scale can't tell you that you did good or bad, or whatever external measurement can't tell you. So I have to remember to try to hold on to those good things, and just let everything else take care of itself. But really, the moment you all have been waiting for, that is, don't you? It's the clothing jar and fund. And this week, now I don't, every 30 days is when the pound money will come in, because because I fluctuate so much up and down. It's just better for my mentality and my sanity to count the pounds every 30 days. That way I don't feel like, oh, do I take out money? Which I'm not taking out money. So it's going to be built a little slower than I thought, because for me to put in $5 and for every 10 miles, you figure that's about $5 a week. But in any event, here is the $5 that I earned because I'm up to mile number 20 in my 1,000-mile journey, and that goes into the jar. And I'll close it up. I know I gotta seal this. I just ran out of time last week. I figure you guys like the sound effect, right? So it's sealed, and it now, last week had that, and this week has this $50 in my clothing fund jar. Not too bad for the first 21 days of the year. So as always, thanks for watching and listening, and I may ramble off topic. I don't get a chance to reply to all the comments and feedback, but I do read them, and I appreciate them. And I'm better with email, because comments and stuff like I kind of don't go to my own site once I post. But if someone sends me an email, then I'm quicker to respond to that. So if there's something you wanted to know, or you asked and I didn't answer in a while, just shoot me an email and I'll get back to you. So I'll see you guys next week, and have a good one.